Hey everyone, so this is my Unit 6 discussion presentation. Alright, so first we have format, which is the way in which something is arranged and set out, or laid out basically. So here I just chose this picture. Basically it's showing like the X and Y axis of the grid. And basically is like your 8 by 11 or like how we did on some of the grids that we worked through. And that's just basically the format. Next we have margins, which is the part of a page or sheet outside the main body of written or printed matter. So here we have the matter or the grid, or the matter of the grid, and then you see here we have margins on top, on the sides, the bottoms, and that's margins. Next we have live area, the area where all important text and images appear. So like everything here in the pink would be your live area. If it was just none of this here would be filled. So everything basically shown in the pink would be filled with, say, in like a magazine page, like an image or a column or something like that. Alright, next we have action safe area. This area can be considered the margin of the television screen, in that picture elements are generally kept out of this area to create a buffer around the edge of the screen so elements don't pile up against the edge of the screen, or grid, which is what we've been studying and working on. So yeah, basically here in the yellow would be your action safe area. And you see it's not all the way with the black square covered, or the yellow doesn't extend all the way there because you wouldn't be able to see it. You still need the room of like not the margin per se, but just like a border. You still need that room in order to be able to see whatever you have going on. Title safe area is a rectangular area which is far enough in from the four edges such that text or graphics shown neatly with a margin and without distortion. So you can see here in the red outline, it's basically saying that 80% of the entire layout would be the title safe area. Trim line, so the trim is the size that represents the final demonstration of like your ad or the grid. So you see we have like the safe area, what we just talked about, and then we have bleed, which we're getting to, but the trim is basically just the main final outline. Alright, bleed. It is the portion of your design that extends past the trim size. Bleed is cut off when the publication is trimmed to the final size. Its sole purpose is to make sure your design or image reaches the very edge without leaving any unsightly white edges. So, like the red line here would be the bleed, obviously. You wouldn't have anything really outside of that. It just makes sure it keeps everything in place, basically, of the full diagram. Alright, columns is vertical division of space or separated from each other by gutters. They are the main force that help designers place visual elements across the page. So, like A, B, C, and D, they're all columns, different sizes. They don't have to be one specific size. And each column will contain something different, whether it be a photo or a paragraph or the column or so on and so forth. Alright, we have alley, which describes basically the space between the columns, which would be like, just like it says, the space between the columns. Very self-explanatory there. Alright, and gutter is the inactive division of negative space that separate one column from the other. So you would think that alley and gutter are the same, and in a way they would be, but okay, so say like we did in Illustrator, we would create like two artboards basically, and like for this demonstration it would be 3 columns per artboard, and then they would be spaced in the alley way, like 0.2, and then from each like margin side would have a space of 1 or 2. This would be just so we could use both artboards. The gutter would be basically like if we were putting it in a book like this, it would be the space for the 2 pages to where they were visibly separated and had enough room to where it didn't go directly in the crease of the book per se. And that concludes the presentation. Thank you guys for listening.